and I'm not boasting about this, I am actually 3 times world trick shot champion. Thank you. It's a crap event. We just signed a deal up for Sky Sports 7 to show the reruns. Thank God it's finished. We don't do it anymore. But it was garbage. I mean, World Championship. Okay. What? Right. Okay. But I won it 3 times. First time I won it was in Sun City, South Africa. Panel of 3 judges. First judge, South African woman show jumper. World champion. Never seen a snooker table before in her life. Second judge, a South African world champion flyweight boxer. Never seen a house before in his life. Let alone a snooker table. Third judge, advising the other 2, was my best friend and manager, Barry Hurt. So I won. Second year, the players complained. They said it was unfair it was done with a judging panel, especially as my best mate was on the judging panel, and they'd only played it the second year if it was done by the clapometer. More the crowd clapped, the more the lights went up. So Barry Hunt and myself, we both agreed to that the following year, and we held the tournament in Romford, in Essex. How again? Okay. First trick shot, nice easy one to start with. Going to try and pot the black in this corner pocket. Going to strike the cue ball onto that 2-ball plant. Second red comes off the side cushion, hits the 5-ball plant. The black goes along there, in off that red into the pocket. Okay? I'll put that back. While that's happening, the cue ball comes off this red, cannons that red out of the way. That's the trick element. That goes in off, it's that one. These 3 reds here, we've got absolutely nothing whatsoever. They're there to confuse you and make it look a lot harder than it actually is. If I took them away like that, you'd say, well, it's a piece of piss anyway. Now it looks a lot harder. It's a little tip for you if you're having a cocktail party around your house and you've got a table. Okay, first trick shot. This is before the prom night gets kicking off next door. Black ball, corner pocket. Thanks very much. It's a pleasure to be back here in Snooks in Halesowen. I think it's my 3rd time here, is it, Mike? Yes. Unbeaten I was against you up until today. Did I make 100 against you? No, I didn't. Oh, did you? Did you? Did you really?
Not that he's roping you.
Oh no.
It's still like that.
Is it 2-1?
2-1.
Oh. That's one of the good things about getting older, I can't remember. Oh, well played anyway. No, it's nice to see you playing well, queuing well. It's a pleasure to come back. It's nice to welcome a lot of new people from the league tonight. Great nights of league night presentation. Congratulations to all the winners of the trophies. It's a tough season. Oh, perhaps it's not me. Nice to even touch the trophies. Second trick shot, black, completely surrounded by reds that are placed there in a random order around the black. Just prove that, then you can be in any order you like. The black looks completely hemmed in. Do you remember those businessman's toys, one when you go like that and then one goes, and then two, and then two? Well, this is a bit like that. I did this white very hard. The power of two balls, black and the red go forward. These two reds interact, then the black goes in off that red into the pocket. It's not a hard shot. It's quite an easy shot actually, but it's a nice shot to get started because you can't fail and everybody claps. But it looks pretty and it's a clever shot. Okay, so here we go. Right.
You can't fail. Fail proof.
Put that on YouTube, can you edit that out?
I fucking end.
Okay, moving on to something slightly harder now. Gonna pop the red in the middle pocket. Screw back into that pocket. Which is quite easy for me, I'm a professional. You're going to play the shot slightly more difficult way, play the shot Jimmy White style. Screw back into Birmingham Town Centre. Can't Jimmy screw back? It's like you've got bionic left arm, Jimmy. Bionic left arm, Jim. Rest of his body's completely gone. His left arm, still perfect. It's like nature at work. It's like all the muscles in his body have gone to his left arm to protect him. Great player, great screw back player as well. This is how Jimmy White will play the shot, left-handed, with sound effects. Okay, which is slightly harder for me. And one person applauded. Back in the 80s, when I did that shot, when we started doing this shot, everybody in the room clapped. But times have changed, and all of a sudden, a guy called Halesowen came along.
Oh dear.
What a player! 1-4-7 break in 5 minutes and 20 seconds for a 1-4-7 break. Used to take Terry Griffiths that long to break off. He earned £169,000 for that break, 147,000 for the break, 22 for the highest break of the tournament, 169 grand for 5 minutes and 20 seconds work. It's a fantastic hourly rate. Works out about 2 mil. Just under. Not the first time it's been done in the World Championship. Stephen Hendry was the first player to make a 1-4-7 get 147 grand. First player to break the £100,000 barrier, Jimmy White. First player at the Crucible, Cliff Thorburn, 25 grand. First televised.
Oh, the classic.
I'm not boasting, but we all know what I got.
Piece of shit car.
It was a good car.
Still driving it?
No. Do you remember the tournament before that? Because at the time nobody had made a 1-4-7. The tournament before they were just giving bigger and bigger prizes out. There was 100 grand for a 1-4-7 the tournament before, and 100 grand for the tournament after. It had already been announced, and I made mine in the Lada Classic. Do you remember the Yugo? The Yugoslavian version? They were so excited by the amount of publicity that Lada got, that the following year, Yugo sponsored an event as well. I just refused the pot of black off the spot. There's one way that Halesowen as yet hasn't played a popular screw back, and that's like Phil Taylor would play the shot. Phil Taylor's a dart player. Dart players, when they play snooker, only use one hand. So I'm going to try and pop the red and screw back one-handed. Now I must warn you, when you go back to your clubs, because what happens, I get this shot right once in every second exhibition. It's not guaranteed, right? But when I do get it right, what happens is you go back to your club and you say, "What a shot I saw the other night! Some bloke, quite interesting." Used to have red hair. down to the slate now. And you're going to try and show your friends who didn't come tonight, right? And you're going to go, and you're going to go, rip. You're going to rip the cloth and you'll be thrown out of the club by the club owners and the secretary of the town. So don't try to stop, you can do a lot of damage to the cloth. But, this isn't my cloth, I'm leaving straight after. See if I care. Okay. Right, this is how Phil Taylor will play the shot, one hand. Thanks very much for coming over, as I said. Obviously there are some members of the club that have been here before. Apologies if I played some trick shots that you might have seen, but there's about 80% of people from outside the club, is that right, Mike? Yeah. No. No, good.
What can you say?
Was a young lad, was it, oh, can you, what did you say, you can play a bit? Yeah, can you do us a favour? Big round of applause for Dean. Is it Dean? No, come. What's your name? Connor, big round of applause for Connor. Thank you very much. I'll get bored with trick shots, Connor. And if I get bored with them, they must be boring. Because I was considered back in the 80s the most boring snooker player in the game. Actually, how old are you? You're 14. So in 1985, in the final against Dennis Taylor that went to the black, you would have been minus 14.
Slightly cut.
Do you know who I am? Do you know who I used to be? I used to be I was like the best player in the 80s. Before you were born, before you were even thought of, I was the best player in the game. I was like a cross between Roddy O'Sullivan, Judd Trump and Jimmy White. Don't tell him, right? I won everything. Well, it felt like I won everything. For the first couple of years in the 80s, I won every tournament nearly, right? People loved me. They thought I was fantastic. I was the best thing in the game. Then this weird thing happened. Strange thing. People started getting bored with the same person winning. They put 2 and 2 together and thought if they're getting bored, that I must be boring. It wasn't my fault they had a low attention span. Then, David Vine, who was like Hazel Irving but uglier, right? He'd come along after the match, right? And he'd ask me questions about snooker, right? So I answered him about snooker. And people said, there you go, all that guy talks about is snooker. I think he's had a charisma bypass operation. I couldn't win. Even my girlfriend at the time, Connor. Even my girlfriend thought I was getting boring. So I thought, I'll nip this in the bud. I took her out. I booked a nice table for 2. Waste of time. She only potted 3 balls. One of those was a plant. Anybody can get a plant. They clap on the television. They're lined up. I beat the 5-1. We were back home in bed by 9 o'clock. Waste of the night. Right? Have a bit of practice up the table. Just whack the ball up the table. Just get your cue arm going, because I just whack it up the table. That's good enough. That's good enough. That's good enough for me. Okay, so what Connor's going to do, as I get bored with these trick shots, Connor's going to play this shot. And what Connor's going to do, Connor, you're going to pot the black. The black ball is the one that's different from the other ones in the middle there. 1 second. Do this 1 second.
Anyone in?
People ask why you do that. It's
Makes it look good.
So it's a black ball, Connor. The pot's black in that middle pocket there. So take it away, Connor. A little bit of technical advice. Whack that red full in the face. Just give it a semi-whack, not the hardest whack you've ever done, but like medium whack. Full in the face of that red. Black ball, middle pocket. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Thanks, Ross. Bit out of sync there. Oh, right. His grandson. He's living in a time warp. I saw that episode of Star Trek when everybody else was moving quicker and he was slower. Okay. Yeah, what a player on it. So nowadays, strange things happen now. Now people sometimes come up in the street to me and say, Steve, don't watch as much snooker as I used to on the television because I don't think there's the characters in the game there used to be. Have you said that? Have you heard people say that?
No.
Yeah? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think there's characters or not? I mean, like, we've got some great characters, yeah? I mean, like, Mark Selby, the Jester from Leicester, yeah? We've got Ronnie O'Sullivan, what a character he is. You get 2 for the price of 1. You never know which one's turning up. If he does turn up, you never know it. You know, 1 minute he's like, he's won his match, he's lost his match, he's saying, yeah, well, I lost, I think I might retire. And then you get a completely different character. If he's won his match, he says, yeah, I think I might retire. You never know which one's going to hit me there. Then we got Peter Ebdon, what a character with his big camera like that. Veins poking out of his head. Like he's on Star Trek Voyager. He's a character. Even the gritty Scot, Graham Dott. Remember Graham Dott when he won the world? What a character, grit, full of grit, 110% on every shot. And when he won the world championship, he made an unbelievable 60 brand impression. And he went, come on, like that. But it was more like, come on. He's only small, he's that big. They put him on a step. When we play Graham Dott, they dig a trench. We all have to play the trench to make him look bigger. He's only small, he breaks off the rest. When he won the tournament, he filled up a trophy, had a little swim in it. I tell you how small Graham Dott is. At the last tournament, he went into orbit around Stephen Lee.
That's fucking fun.
No, they don't. I don't care. If they can't take a joke, making all the money they do, they get it. Anybody gets upset about it, Stephen Lee. That's one of Stephen Lee's contact lenses. Don't tell him. If you ever come to the club to do an exhibition, please don't tell him. Because it's only fun. I mean, I'm not even going to go. They are characters. They're great. They make snooker what it is, you know. If we're all exactly the same like me, the robot who came along, there's such a cross-section. It's fantastic. So it's unfair, I think, when they talk about the old characters being better. I don't think they are. We've got a great bunch of players. They're fantastic. But they're not like the old players in some ways. They're not like Alex Hurricane Higgins. He was a character. The Hurricane. What a character he was. Sadly passed away now. But what a character. He made the game in the late 60s when the game was dead in the 70s. But what a player, what a character. I mean, who else? During the 80s, punched an official and nutted another one. At a press conference. That's what you should do. You shouldn't just shake hands and wish the bloke the best of luck. You've got to nut somebody. That's where the game's going wrong.
Watch out, Roy.
Or at least say you want to get noshed off by Chinese journalists.
I suppose the good thing about it, some of the characters that were playing the game in the 80s are now in the commentary box. So we see quite a lot of the older players in the commentary box. Which do you think that's good? What do you think about commentators?
This trick shot. You
You like them? Thank you very much. Some of them we like, some of them we don't like. We all get. Is Willie Thorne the best? Do you think Willie Thorne? I don't know. Sometimes I think Willie Thorne might be a little bit condescending to the players. You know, Ronnie O'Sullivan makes a 1-4-7 break in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Next frame, he pops a red, misses the black off the spot, and Willie Thorne says, "Well, that was careless." And it's John Virgo stating the obvious. Where's the cue ball going? We know where it's roughly going. Shut up and let us watch to see if it goes where we think it might go. We're not stupid, we know it's roughly in that direction, we've got a television screen. My favourite commentator is Neil Foulds, actually. Yeah, good commentator. I get upset with Dennis Taylor. Every time he gets the lines right, doesn't he? And he puts a circle on the table, the white ball always ends up in a circle. I've worked it out. It's a 20-second delay. You're saying 20 seconds delay. He puts it on. Next time you watch a snooker, UK Championships next. It's a great website called snookerbingo.com. Basically, there's a guy that's taken a note of every snooker cliche that the commentators come out with, and you can download bingo cards and play it at home during the match. Flat back pack. Yes, I've got a line. Right, okay.
That sounds quality.
You've all heard of Moses, yes? You get that book, it's in the hotel.
Commentator.
No, the older one. Moses led the Israelites through the Red Sea of Egypt into the Promised Land, which is roughly correct. I'm not going to start arguing, it's getting late. Pretend that this is the Red Sea of Egypt. There's the Promised Pocket.
What about Abraham?
It's a different chapter.
Is it Jehovah's Witness?
Jehovah's Witness. I got one of those knocked on the door the other day. I invited him in. I said, I made him a cup of tea. I said, yeah, it's okay. What do you want to talk about? He said, I don't know, I've never got this far.
Stop the cup.
That's the other one. Steve, why do you keep moving around the room, Steve?
Must have took him a good 10 minutes to play his trick shots. It's got to be good.
It's right, didn't get through the first time. And this, Charlton Heston. Charlton Heston with a bit of top spin. Charlton Heston, bit of back spin, not too much, a bit more, okay. Charlton Heston, bit flash. Ooh. Ooh. Wait a minute, I didn't do that properly. Okay, right, go. Back. I'll practice this round. I love doing this. For those that are not religious or don't like a good story, you've got to pop a black in the middle. Israelites through the Red Sea into the Promised Land.
Fucking the button.
Right? Oh. Contact this. Oh!
10 minutes that was, what the fuck? Start again.
He's drowned again. Oh well.
Yeah, exactly.
Pint of frame, true. First round of the World Championship, all played in one day, best of 19. You know it is, don't you? You play 9 frames in the morning, the afternoon a completely different match goes on, and you play another 10 frames in the evening. 19 pints of lager. But he didn't stop there, because he couldn't come in for his first frame with no lager in it. So while we went to the practice table, Bill went to his dressing room with a 4-pack to get up to running speed. He was a professional, he had a nice little ice bag and everything. That's 23 pints of lager. After 4 frames in the morning session, we have an interval for 15 minutes. One for the interval, guaranteed, right? 24 pints. Morning session finishes, completely different match goes on in the afternoon. He's got 4.5 hours to kill. He can't go cold turkey. He's got to keep ticking over. Name your own amount of pints in 4.5 hours. I reckon a conservative estimate, 5. I reckon I'm not being over 29 pints. One for the interval in the evening, 30 pints of lager was not unheard of for Bill Worthing to drink in a long session match if it went the distance, which it often didn't because he was pissed. But when it did, 30 pints. But the bit that used to get me was, after the match, he'd like a couple of pints with his mates just to relax. What? The other thing about that, with all that gassy lager in it, there's no way of easy way. Flatulence became a big problem in his game. He farted a lot when he played. He was a good potter, but he was a pretty good safety player. And I tell you, you'd sort of like, you'd play the safety shot down the table, you think you got him in a bit of trouble behind the ball colours, but he'd pick out a red on the top cushion, he'd play it pretty thin, bit of right hand side, flick it round off 2 or 3 cushions, cue ball came down the table to exactly where he played it from, drop one and leave it right live on BBC, and you'd be in your chair, and you see the ball come down like that, and you go,
oh shit.
The other thing about that, which I'm loath to tell you, because it's not Newton's laws of flatulence, the more effort he put into the shot, the more came out. Bill Worthing is the only snooker player who's ever screwed back and followed through in the same shot. Sadly, he's passed away now. He's no longer with us, which is sadly, but he was a big jovial character, Bill. He was a character. Right, what was that?
I don't know how to screw that.
It's a great pleasure to be back here at Snooks, and I think a big round of applause to Mike and all the staff that looked after you.
Somebody lost a taxi in there.
Okay, just to finish off, hopefully on a high note.
I lost to the winner.
Mate, don't even go.
It's about as complicated as it gets from my perspective, and hopefully I can play this particular shit fixture right.
I struggled with mine.
Also, thanks very much.
I'll let Phil.
You want to start? You want to try giving yourself to your friend?
Well, the coach, and also he's been calling out players there, MC. Mr. Andy Hartfield, thank you very much. If there's something wrong with your
He
game,
played well because I played quite well that night.
there's something wrong with your game.
Pressure.
Yeah, Dr. Andrew. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Just to finish off, hopefully. Okay. Going to try a typical fixture.
Just to finish up.
Going to try and pop the black one there in that little pocket.
What?
From down there. Going to strike the cue ball onto this red, that red, which is going to double kiss that red out of the way. That red's going to go onto that red and hit that one and double kiss that one out of the way. That one goes onto that one and double kisses that one out of the way. That one goes onto there. It's there. They're quite fast. No, it's not there. It's there. Oh, that's there. That's just there.
Mom's killing me now.
These are history, they're gone, they're over there. Black, up the cushion, get off the red into the pocket.
What? Fuck you. Get off.
Yes, thank you very much.
Let's go.
Okay.
Shoot back up.
I'm going to have one try only at this shot, because if I miss it, the balls go absolutely everywhere, and basically, I can't be asked to put them back in. One try only.
No change here then.
No.
sign a few autographs again at the end of the evening, and the bar is still open, so Michael sign as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed for coming, and I'm sure there'll be another exhibition on the pipeline soon in December. Thank